The snow fell gently outside the grand windows of the Madison Café. Inside, crystal chandeliers sparkled above white linen tablecloths. A tall Christmas tree stood in the corner, decorated with golden ornaments that caught the warm light. Emma stood at the entrance, her worn canvas bag hanging from her shoulder. At 23, she had learned to recognize places where she didn't belong. This was one of them. But the cold outside had seeped through her coat. Her fingers were numb. She had been walking for hours, delivering handmade scarves to shops around the city, hoping someone would buy them. No one had. She noticed a man sitting alone by the window. He was perhaps 40, dressed in an immaculate black suit. His dark hair was perfectly styled. An expensive watch gleamed on his wrist. He sat very still, staring out the falling snow with an expression she couldn't quite read. Emma approached slowly. Her heart beat faster with each step. "Excuse me," she said softly. Her voice almost disappeared in the quiet elegance of the cafe. "Is this seat only for the rich?" The man turned to look at her. His eyes were gray, like the winter sky outside. For a moment, he said nothing. Then something changed in his face. "Please," he said, gesturing to the chair across from him. "Sit down." Emma hesitated. She could feel the waiter watching from across the room. She knew her coat was shabby. She knew her boots had holes in them. "I don't have money for coffee," she admitted. Her cheeks flushed. "I just needed to get warm for a moment." "Then we have something in common," the man said. His voice was quiet, almost sad. "I'm also here for warmth." Emma sat down carefully, as if the chair might break beneath her. The man raised his hand slightly, and the waiter appeared. "2 coffees, please," he said, "and whatever pastries you recommend." "Sir, I can't pay you back," Emma began. "I'm not asking you to." They sat in silence as the waiter brought 2 steaming cups and a plate of delicate pastries. Emma wrapped her cold hands around the cup, feeling the warmth seep into her fingers. "My name is David," the man said. "David Chan." "Emma," she replied. "Emma Foster. What were you doing out in the cold, Emma?" She told him about the scarves, about how her grandmother had taught her to knit before she passed away 3 years ago, about how she was trying to sell them to keep her grandmother's apartment, the only home she had left, about how every shop had turned her away. David listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "My mother used to knit," he finally said. "She would sit by the window of our tiny apartment and knit scarves for my brother and me. We were so poor that some winters, those scarves were our only Christmas gifts." Emma looked at him in surprise. This man, in his expensive suit, with his polished shoes and gold watch. "You were poor." "Very poor," David said. "My father left when I was 8. My mother worked 3 jobs to feed us. I remember being hungry. I remember the cold. I remember what it felt like to walk past places like this and know I would never belong inside." "But you made it," Emma said. "You're here now." "I'm here," David agreed. "I built a technology company. It's worth millions now. I have everything I once dreamed of having." He paused. "Except the people I wanted to share it with." "What do you mean?" "My mother passed away 5 years ago," David said. His voice was steady, but Emma could hear the pain underneath. "She never got to see me succeed. My brother and I had a falling out over the company. We haven't spoken in 2 years. I have an ex-wife who left because I worked too much. And I have a daughter who I barely know because I was always too busy building an empire." He looked down at his coffee. 2 weeks ago, my daughter got married. She didn't invite me. I found out from social media. And I realized that I had climbed so high that I'd lost sight of everything that mattered. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. Not for herself, but for this man who had everything and nothing. Is that why you're here alone on Christmas week? I come here every day, David said. I sit at this table, and I remember my mother. This was the cafe she used to walk past every morning on her way to work. She would stop and look in the window. She told me once that she dreamed of having coffee here, just once, but she never did. She died before I could bring her. The snow continued to fall outside. The cafe hummed with quiet conversation. Somewhere, a piano played a gentle Christmas melody. I bought this cafe 3 years ago, David continued. The owner was going to tear it down and build condos. I couldn't let that happen. So now I own it, and I come here and I sit at this table, and I pretend my mother's finally having that cup of coffee she always wanted. Emma reached across the table and placed her hand over his. His fingers were warm from the coffee cup, but they trembled slightly. She would be proud of you, Emma said, not because of the money or the company, but because you remembered her, because you still care. David looked at her, and for the first time, he smiled. It was a small, sad smile, but it was real. Can I see your scarves? He asked. Emma pulled them from her bag. There were 5, each one knitted in a different pattern. The colors were soft and warm. The stitches were small and careful, made with love and patience. David picked up a navy blue one with silver threads woven through it. How much do you need? For the apartment? $12,000, Emma said. I'm 3 months behind on rent. David took out his phone. His fingers moved across the screen for a moment. Then Emma's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out and looked at the notification. A bank transfer. $20,000. No, she said immediately. No, I can't accept this. Why not? Because I didn't earn it. Because it's charity. Because your pride, David said gently. I understand. I was the same way. But Emma, let me tell you something I learned too late. Accepting help isn't weakness. It's wisdom. And sometimes helping someone else is the only thing that makes us feel human again. Emma's hand shook as she held her phone. I need you to do something for me, David continued. I need you to keep making these scarves. I need you to remember your grandmother and honor her memory. And when you can, I need you to help someone else the way I'm helping you today. Not with money necessarily, but with kindness, with warmth, with a seat at a table when they need one. Tears rolled down Emma's cheeks. She couldn't speak. This cafe, David said, looking around the elegant room. It's not just for the rich. It never was. It was always meant to be a place where people could find warmth. My mother taught me that. She may never have had her coffee here, but through you, maybe she finally will. He picked up the navy scarf and wrapped it gently around his neck. I'll buy all 5 scarves, he said. Consider the extra money in advance on the next batch. Because, Emma, these are beautiful. Your grandmother will be proud. They sat together for another hour, talking about life and loss and hope, about dreams deferred and second chances, about the difference between being rich and being wealthy. When Emma finally left the cafe, the snow had stopped. The winter sun was breaking through the clouds, making the icy streets sparkle like diamonds.